But as I was saying, people, the D's or the Nicolaitans. That name, does that sound familiar? Nicolaitan. Does it sound familiar? Nicolaitan. Look it up. Look up the word. I'm gonna tell you what a Nicolaitan is according to the dictionaries and things that are online. It's people who indulge in fornication, indulge in things, sacrifice to idols, and indulge in pagan practices. That's what a Nicolaitan is. Now think about that. Think about what holiday just passed. How Nicolaitan, it sounds so familiar to you. Why does it sound familiar? Nicolaitan. It's a reason why the Bible writes certain things in there. Let's say Jeremiah 10, first of all. They cut down a tree. They deck it with silver and gold. All right. He said, this is what the heathen do. And he was talking about his children. He said, they doing this. He said, they doing what this is. The Nicolaitan deeds ain't nothing new. It's weird that God put a name to it. And the thing is, those two words, that word is not mentioned but twice in the Bible, in Revelations. But don't it sound familiar though? Does it sound familiar to you? You know, a lot of Christians that indulge in Christmas, they say, well, Saint Nicholas was a saint that used to give gifts to kids. And that's where Santa Claus came into play. Look at it. He said, cunningly devised fables by the craftiness of men. All right. So that's what Santa Claus, old Saint Nick. Then he turned to Santa, which is rearranged the words a little bit and say Satan. Now think about it. Saint Nicholas. Now, I'm not saying this is the same Saint Nicholas or the Nicolaitans they was talking about in Revelations, but most likely it is one and the same. He said there were people back then that were Nicolaitans that tried to serve two masters, tried to worship God and pagan practice at the same time and say it's okay. He said they would lure you in through covetous practices. They would deceive you. He said people would having itching ears, they would heap up for themselves teachers. And it sounds so great. But think about it. What I said in, what the Bible said in John, 1 John, last verse of the chapter, of the book. Little children, keep yourselves from idols. So, okay, let's say Christmas is based off of Saint Nicholas. He said, worship no God but me. You can't use that excuse. You can't be like, well, we're doing it because Saint Nicholas did it. Who is Saint Nicholas? Is he God? Is he somebody whose ways you're supposed to follow? No. You're supposed to follow the words of God, the ways of God, not saints. If they saints, they're going to teach you to lead to the scripture, to the doctrine. And they got to go against it. I ain't saying Saint Nicholas made this up himself, but I'm going to tell you how slick the world is. The world will throw a saint name in there and make you think it's okay to be idolatrous. Saint Nicholas, Nicolaitan. That should make some thoughts come. That's what God was putting on my head yesterday morning as I woke up on supposed Christmas Day. Cunningly devised fables. Well, so what's a fable? A fable is a lie. What's the cunningly devised fable that a lot of Christians use to celebrate Christmas also? It's Christ's birthday. It's a folklore. It's not a truth. It's not a fact. It's fake. I mean, it's false. I mean, they are false teachers. And they try to cover their sin up by using these cunningly devised fables to lure people in who have clearly escaped and know the truth. And then they bring you back in and be like, well, it's okay because St. Nicholas is what it's about. Then they tell you it's about the birth of Christ, which is not on the 25th. Then they tell you all kind of things. The tree is symbolic of Jesus Christ. No, it's a tree and a cross, and that ain't the same thing. You see what I'm getting at, people? Then you see the covetous practices. It's all about giving gifts. Wanting, more. Look at St. Nicholas over there. But anyway, more. And everybody love it because everybody like gifts. Think about these pastors. They're not finna stop there because it keeps the congregation full, tricking you. Like we can look at Halloween, and then think about that. We even changing that. Well, we don't like trick or treat, but we'll do trunk or treat. So we're gonna bring the pagan practice into the house of the Lord. I always tell people to look up the groves. Look up what the groves are about in the Bible. You know, all the greenery, and it seems so innocent. But he said, by the cunning craftiness of man. Think about it. The Catholics worship Paul. They worship all the saints. They call on the saints for help. Where in the Bible does they tell you to call on the saints or call on the Virgin Mary? You see how they mix light with darkness? And they just fool you or fool people. Fool me, fool my parents, fooled a lot of churches. And he said, you dwell at Satan's seat is. And he wrote this to a letter to the churches. So some of these churches out here are not even churches of God. They are synagogues of Satan. How do you know? You would know them by their fruits. The man gather figs from a bramble. You know how it goes. You would know them by their fruits. So why is it that when people like me and other people, genogenics, many other Christians are trying to expose these fruits that they clearly put up there, and then they try to make excuses for it? Think about it. When you start making excuses why you want to keep doing something, most likely you're wrong in the first place. Especially if it don't line up with scripture. If it don't line up, most likely it's falsehood. Do you understand? Now think about what the Nicolaitans did. They mixed good with evil. They say you can eat food sacrificed to idols. You can live a sexual life. You can have sex with whoever you want. And you can indulge in pagan practices, but you can still serve God in the same fashion. And that's what a lot of churches are doing right now. They're putting a stamp on there, trying to make it about something that it's not. You know, it's crazy, ain't it? That preachers are doing this to people. Me and my cousin, I told you the battle that I just faced. And I prayed, I told y'all to pray for me. I said, man, my wife set up a Christmas tree. And I was heated. My God said, don't worry about it. I got this. I came in here and I told y'all, I said, pray for me. And then one day we got into an argument, man, take that tree down. She took it down. Now think about that. Was that me that made her take the tree down? No. Thank y'all for the prayers. You see what happens? The prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Some of y'all got some good prayers. Glory be to God. And God had her take it down. No Christmas tree in our house. Think about that. But the thing is, me and my wife knew this because a few years ago, God told us to not celebrate it. When we first got together, we did the first time we was together, you know. And then after that, God's like, no more. And I told you we lost the Christmas tree. I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. It was no more. And then this year, I was like, but I know why a lot of people are drawn away by it. Because the churches are doing it. These Nicolaitan churches. Nicholas. And then they get the nerve to sit up there and be like, keep God's commands. When you got all this greenery and light fixtures and everything compared to the season. If it wasn't according to the season, you could have had that up all year round. I don't think God has a problem with you decorating your house with lights if you want lights in your house. But you're doing it when everybody else is doing it. You're doing it in the ways of the world, not in the ways of God. And then you want to put a St. Nicholas stamp on it. So which is it? Is it because of St. Nicholas? Do you hear what I'm saying now? Is it because of St. Nicholas? Or is it because it's Jesus' birthday? Which one is it? It can't be either one. First of all, we don't even know Jesus' birthday. So that means it's a fable. And you know we don't supposed to worship saints. So we done made St. Nicholas an idol. We done transformed him, but it's connected to more other pagan practices. It's also connected to the Norse god Odin. He used to ride on a chariot with 2 steeds across the air. He used to bring gifts into man. Look how the Roman Catholic Church has converted a lot of things, just like they did Sunday worship. They wanted to blend it with the pagan ways. That's why you get Sunday worship instead of Sabbath day. You know, and I know this. And it's hard. That's why, like, I try to go to church on Sundays, but I'm like, why is this still in play? Then people make up all kind of excuses. As long as you worship God and understand the truth, you're supposed to worship God every day. But he say, honor my Sabbath. And the Sabbath can't change. He established the Sabbath in Genesis. The Sabbath can't change. The Catholic Church don't have power to change God's ordinances. Nobody has power to change God's ordinances. He said, don't add to my word or subtract from his word, right? St. Nicholas seems like an addition. Christ's birthday seems like an addition. I don't know what Bible you're reading. That sounds like additives. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? And I know you don't want to hear about this. I don't care. And not only did God put in my mind to study it, but he made me write a song about it. I started writing it yesterday, but I'm gonna take a break. I got it. I wrote the whole song. Just straight bad mouthing, rebuking the churches. And I am today, rebuking the churches. Which temple are you? Are you a temple of Satan? Or are you the synagogue of Satan? But as I was saying, me and my cousin, when been arguing about this, I mean, not arguing, but debate, but talking about this, he was like, he don't want to do it. But it's like his wife wants to do it. All right, so Sunday, I just happened to turn on the TV, and his pastor was giving a sermon on Christmas and why we do it. And he's like, it just vexed his soul.